Athletic greatness comes in all shapes and all sizes. It doesn't come naturally, but is achieved from hard work, diligence, and adversity. Along the journey, there's opportunity, and there's always struggle. There is triumph, and there is defeat, and there is always a story behind the glory. Most people who follow college sports know the name Ron Higgins, a decorated veteran writer covering the Southeastern Conference for decades. Many of his friends know him better as Mad Dog.
I have no idea how Ron got the nickname Mad Dog, but I've never seen him really mad, but I do know he loves dogs.
He has made it a point to kind of mentor younger journalists that have come up. Mad Dog has done that with a couple of generations of younger sports journalists, and that's what kind of makes him great.
Ron Higgins, a member of the 2024 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame class. You've been a journalist for 55 years, 45 of those full-time, 10 years part-time.
Yeah.
If you were me interviewing yourself today, what would be the first question that Ron Higgins asks Ron Higgins, the newest member of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame?
How'd you get so lucky that you wanted to know what you wanted to do when you were 6 years old, and then you did it, and you did it all your life, and you never had a doubt that you were going to do it, and you never had a doubt that if you worked hard enough, you'd be good at it. But how did it happen? Then how did you get in the Hall of Fame this way? Because that's the last thing I expected. I mean, last thing, when they called and told me, I was like, they said you get one of the Distinguished Journalism Award. I said, did you say extinguished? They said, no.
With an E instead of a D, right?
Yeah, but extinguished? I said, I'm not done yet. He goes, no, distinguished. You're in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. I said, I don't even believe it. And so, yeah, I mean, I'd ask myself, well, how did you get so lucky to do this all these years?
You've got the nickname Mad Dog.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
When I was like, I guess 10 or 11, there was this teenage newspaper in Baton Rouge called What's Happening. And so they hired me to write sports, and so that I just wanted to do game stories. They want like a column, opinion. So I thought, I'll call it football column Around the Gridiron. It's an old traditional gridiron name. I said, but I want to put Ron Higgins. I want a tough football name. I said, what would be good? And I started going through mafia names, like Mad Dog. That's it, Mad Dog. And so it just stuck. It has stuck my whole life. I'm proud of it. My friends call me Mad Dog. I'll go in an arena somewhere. Somebody go, Dog! I'll turn around. It's kind of like the way I played basketball in high school and college. Same that kind of effort, really out there.
Higgins is carrying on the sports journalism legacy of his late father, former LSU Sports Information Director Ace Higgins.
The name Ace Higgins was so symbolic in the world of Louisiana sports journalism. The LSWA still has an award named the Ace Higgins Award. But Ron Higgins has really stepped that forward an awful lot and has done some amazing things in his career.
He started early. Young Higgins had his first byline in the Baton Rouge Advocate when he was 14.
My dad died when I was 12. Of a heart attack in the hospital. And when I was 13 and 14, Ted Castillo goes, do you think you can cover a story for us? I said, Mr. Castillo, I don't have a driver's license. Can your mother take and drop you off? So I did that, and I walked. I remember I was at Baker Jamboree. I set up in Baton Rouge, and I walked in the locker room after the game, and Coach looks at me. He goes, "We need some more towels." I went, I said, "I'm not your manager." He goes, "Who are you?" I said, I'm Ron Higgins with the Morning Advocate. I'm a sports writer writing this game." He goes, "No, you're not." I said, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "Well, then ask me a question then." I said, "Okay, the first half you ran the ball really well, got a nice lead. Second half you came out and started throwing it. Was it that because you felt like it was something you needed to work on, or was it something defensively you saw?" He goes, "You are a sports writer." I said, "I told you I was." And so it just from then on, it just all through high school. It was kind of strange in high school. I played high school basketball, having to play a game and then go in the locker room, and then go to the coach's office in my warm-ups and call the game into the paper. But I kind of got used to it.
Certainly a unique start.
That's
for sure.
It was, yeah.
The Baton Rouge native has written for 7 newspapers, 3 online websites, and a magazine in 4 states during a career that now spans 6 decades. He was named the National Sports Media Association Writer of the Year in Tennessee and the Louisiana Writer of the Year in 2008. He was inducted into the Tennessee Sports Writers Hall of Fame in 2011.
He's probably one of the best dressed sports writers in the Southeast. But secondly, his ability to take and look out for colleagues and other people in the media, bar none, is at the very top.
You know, and I mean this in all sincerity, and I'll look you in the eye and tell you, I think your career has been remarkable. I have found you to be consistently informational, entertaining, insightful, witty, clever, sardonic, penetrating, and opinionated for sure when it called for it. These things all rolled into one have brought you so many honors and 11 employers over the course of your full-time career. How did all that happen?
It just, and a lot of them, I went back again. It's like, it was a fast track. I mean, I didn't know I was going to leave the state for a while. I left the state for almost 3 decades and went with the commercial appeal in Memphis. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I started with the Tiger Ag in their 2nd year of existence. Went to the Shreveport Times for about 2 years, the Shreveport Journal for like about 8 or 9 months, which was one of the greatest stretches of my life right there with the Journal. Went to the Advocate for a year, then went to the Commercial Appeal in 2 different stints that was split up by some time with the Mobile Register. And
let me interrupt you just for a second, because I want to point out that 10 times you were the Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year. 10 times in that state, which has a lot of talent in it and a lot of schools to cover. Congratulations on that. That's phenomenal.
Well, yeah, I mean, they really have good writing, and like Louisiana, good array of schools to cover. Of course, when I was in Memphis State, or University of Memphis now, there was Vanderbilt, there was Tennessee, there's a lot of smaller schools in between. But I got to cover, they blessed me, but they said, we want you to cover the Southeastern Conference. And we'd like for you to cover one of the teams in our area, if they're playing the best game that week. Our area, Mid-South, meant Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, or Tennessee. And so most of the time I got to see a great game every week. And they allowed me to be almost like an SEC beat writer before it was even invented. And I kind of invented it, so to speak, and they let me do it on my own. It was great. They trusted me with stuff like this. I'll give you an example. The SEC tournament basketball being played twice in Memphis. The second time I played there, I went to Matter in like October. I said, I want to write the SEC tournament special section. He goes, the whole thing? I said, the whole thing. And I said, here it is. This is what I want to do. I'd mapped it out on the back of a plane ticket that I'd just taken a football trip. I was sitting on the plane and I said, this is what I want to do. I said, this is scheduled how I want to schedule it. I want to go to every school in the conference, but this is how I want to do it. He goes, okay.
And while Higgins has covered 3 Super Bowls, 18 men's Final Fours, 3 women's Final Fours, 3 Summer Olympics, and more than 70 bowl games, that just barely touches the surface of his career.
He absolutely loves basketball. I think he is best known nationally for his work in football because of what LSU has done. And he's been on top of that beat for a long time.
Now, in his spare time, he has become a background actor in numerous movies and TV shows shot in South Louisiana. Colleagues of Ron Higgins gave him the ultimate role in 2024, naming him a recipient of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame's Distinguished Service Award in Sports Journalism.
What has been the most intriguing, the most challenging, the most impactful story that you've ever written?
Probably one of the last stories I did was with the Times-Picayune, or NOLA.com, Joe Este, a young man that went to high school in New Orleans, a football player, and his story was that he came from a tough background, broken home, sister had a drug problem, mother was not stable, not a bad person, just not stable, and eventually found a coach that got him to a junior college in Mississippi, and he played well there, and he got a scholarship at UT Martin, and he played well there, and then his mother called him one day and said, listen, I don't know what I'm gonna do, your sister's kids, your nephews, he goes, they need some, guidance, and and so he started thinking about it, over several months, how could I take these kids back up here to school with me and play football and raise them and go to school and graduate? How can I do that? And eventually went and got them. And he was up there for like 5 or 6 months, and then his mother called and said, Joe, Joseph, I don't know how to tell you this. He goes, I'm living in a car. I'm homeless. I'm living in a car in a casino in the parking lot in New Orleans, casino. And he goes, okay, all right, you come live with me. That's just all there is to it. Put her on a bus, got her to Memphis, and he picked her up, and it was just like he would almost cry when I saw her. She was so thin. She hadn't been eating. But when they got her to Martin, Tennessee, which is above Memphis, everything fell into place. The mother got healthy again. He started raising the kids, and the whole football team kind of pitched in because they knew what he was doing. A lot of attorneys in New Orleans saw that story because Joe wanted to officially adopt those kids. And he goes, I don't know how, I can't afford it, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And a lot of attorneys saw that in New Orleans, and they all came forward, they called me and said, we want to help him free of charge, do it. And it happened. And now he raises them, he's married, and it makes me feel good that I can have that kind of impact. And you never intend to, it just worked out that way. And I sometimes that's what journalism can do. I mean, it can make something better.
If you enjoyed this conversation, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame Museum has exhibits and stories about Louisiana's sports greats. Natchitoches is where history and fun blend with our state's rich sports culture. Find travel planning tips at natchitoches.com.